Hello, friends. You're listening to Profoundish. My name's Weston. I'll be joined by Alex, and we are today talking about making stuff. We're talking about our creative things that we do, kind of our processes a little bit. We just kind of talk about YouTube and TikTok and stuff for quite a long time, and then we play a little bit of an improv game at the end where we improv make live a haiku and then a whole song from scratch. The catch is we alternate words between the two of us to do it. It was a lot of fun, and we actually finished a song. It's pretty great. You have to listen to the end to find out what it sounds like. You're listening to Profoundish.
I was digging through my the taskbar at the bottom of my screen, and it shows like a little preview of the window. I just see your little face pop up. I don't even know if your camera's still on, but it shows the last time I had it up, which had your face.
Oh, really?
Oh, little Weston's looking at me.
I'm looking at you. It's me. Hey guys, it's me.
It's Widow Weston.
I still get those comments every now and again. Which, by the way, I have my camera turned off, so that's kind of funny. It should just be my profile picture. But I still get those comments. It'll be on a stream when someone will randomly comment. It's very rare now, but someone will come into the stream for the first time, and the comment will just be like, "Hey, look, it's me," from the TikTok video that I put out forever ago. Hey, look, it's me.
That's so awesome.
Very rare now, but occasionally I'll get a stream chat comment or just a comment on a YouTube video or whatever. I'm like, "Yep, I'm the guy from that viral video on TikTok. Yep, that's me."
I was gonna say. That might have been a flash in the pan, but that was a pretty big flash.
I loved it. God, my phone was vibrating with notifications just throughout the next couple of days. I was like, oh, I love it. This feeds my ego.
Well, exactly. We talked about this on one of our Tiny Tuber episodes about little number go up, make me happy, And it's so true when you get videos like that. It's awesome. I experienced that to a lesser degree on TikTok when I just started repurposing my medleys on there. And it's oh my gosh, it's because a whole new crowd is seeing these for the first time, and it just so many comments and people watching, and I was and I had so much content that I was posting 4 or 5 times a week because I was splitting my medleys out by just every few songs. So I had so much content to put out. It was awesome. So it kept numbers going up and up and up and up for months and months and months, and then I ran out of content.
And then it died.
And then it was it. Because where are you at for? I mean, we have our opinion of our TikTok followers, but what's your nut? Well,
what does
hold
that
on.
mean?
Let me explain. What I mean. Let me explain. So none of these people have they're not bad people. I'm just saying I don't personally value my follower base on TikTok now, especially because I stopped posting stuff. So, until I post on the now, nobody's on there anyway. That's all.
You make it sound so bad. I don't value my following on TikTok.
That's not what I'm...
They're not bad people, but screw them.
Oh, shut up. You know what I mean.
Sounds so bad.
What's your number on TikTok for followers? Because I think you had a little bit more than me.
12,000.
Yeah, I think I had 10-something.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about my 12,000, which I'm pretty excited about. I like it. It's my most followed thing of all my things that I do, right? That's a big number. Big number go up or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of that came from the one video. The hey, look, which I actually broke that down because I had the minute-long version. And then TikTok unlocks my ability to make up to 3-minute videos. So I have the 3-minute version. And that's the one that got actually super big. So anyway, from the couple videos that are the same thing, but a shorter version, a longer version, that's where most of that came from. And that's very different from the stuff that I post now, like the gaming stuff and a couple of the other random stuff. Very different. I've fallen off. My TikTok's dead. Those 12,000 people, they don't care about me. I like how you said we have our opinion of our TikTok followers. I think my TikTok followers have an opinion of me, and they don't care.
Oh, my God.
You
just said the same thing that I meant to say.
There you go. Well, I'm just so much more articulate than you,
Right there you were.
Yeah, my last 3 videos have 50, 52, and 43 views. They don't care. They're done with me.
It's kind of sad to see that because I know, with me, if it's anything nostalgic, TV show related, I'll get a decent amount of views still. But then when I put up my album, Songs from Sangamon Street, check it out, everybody. And I posted like just one, but like just about my original song, because a lot of artists will do that. They put out a song, and then like they like perform a little part of their song, like because it's on TikTok. You can use my sound, like my songs on TikTok, right? Right. So I just used that, and then I like pretended to sing to it, super cringe, and I was hoping it would get somebody to like it, but it was like, yeah, my least viewed. It's like, of course, the thing I actually really want people to hear.
No one cares.
No. That's kind of the game you play, though, too. It's like, just think, same thing with YouTube in my medleys. You know, if it's a medley, everybody and their mother is going to come praise it. But then if I say, hey, guys, I wrote something that I'm really proud of and took me a long time to make. When's the next medley? I mean, it is what it is. I'm just
the people like what they like, and it's not that they don't like your stuff. It's just that they don't care. No.
Well, honestly, I think about myself as a viewer. Like I think about myself as a viewer, and it's the same way. I subscribe to channels for certain things, and if they start to, veer off too far, I kind of stay in the lane of whenever they post that video that I like, I'll watch that one. I mean, I get it. We follow somebody for a reason usually. So unless it's like super personality based or something.
Right. Like if people are just really into you, no matter what you do, then you could do whatever. But I mean, when you're playing like the content creator game these days, especially on YouTube, you have to have a niche. You have to be like, oh, not only do I come to watch this person, I want to watch this person do this specific thing. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And that's very common now. And I'm not 100% sure how the TikTok works, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same way, where it's like people want you to do the thing. And that's roughly about it. You can have a couple things that branch out, but I don't know. You're gonna have a drop off of some kind.
Yeah, and it is what it is, and that's okay. My original goal, I know, with my channel was to do something that hooks people in, right, to get them to stick around, and then as it continues to grow, I can show other things, and maybe it's just a small group, but if they are into it, what I really want to do, they're into it, and if not, I'll keep making other stuff because I do like it. I was going to say this. You've been pushing shorts to me forever now, since shorts were new.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts. I've told you since day one to get in on this, man.
Well, let me tell you something. I finally figured out, because for me, it's always about time, the amount of time it takes. The few shorts that I made at the beginning still took 4, 6, 8 hours to make a short. Okay.
Yeah, this is too long.
Which anyone who hears that saying, what is wrong with this guy? 6 hours? Because I have to make a song. But I figured it out, man. And I've been doing it, and it's been paying off. And like at least in terms of like subs and stuff, which is pretty cool, which is I'm making shorts about my already existing content. And it's and it's funny because like it's technically what you do too for like almost
Alex
all
is
of your
just
shorts.
Now cracking this code, everybody. I've been telling him this basically forever.
Okay. For the record, we are totally different fields, right? You could like pull up little clips of like your streams or whatever. For me, I make 3-minute songs. Yep. Those can fit as a short. Like some of them are like 1 minute long, right? So, but what I do is I do add a little twist. I add a little value. I'm not saying yours don't have value. What I'm trying to say is that mine, I feel like if it's just the same thing. Well, as long as you say it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, what I mean is I will like I don't know if you've seen any of them, but I'm going, okay, this is the Disney show theme song face-off. I'm going to play you 3 songs, and out of these top 3, pick your favorite and put it in the comments. So then, and I'll just play one of my medleys in the background. You can see it playing, and I'm like counting them off. And it's just the 3 songs in a row in a medley. And then I can just keep doing that for each medley and multiple times per medley. And a lot of people are into it. And I'm recognizing some new names and then some familiar names too. So it's a little bit of value for both returning viewers and new viewers, which is kind of cool. And it's still completely in the same realm. It's good for engagement. But the best part is that it takes me 8 minutes to make it, which is a lot better than 8 hours. So for me, I know it sounds crazy, but ladies and gentlemen, I cracked the code. Just make content about your content.
He's finally there. He's figuring it out. Because I've had a couple of those show up in my suggested shorts. I was telling you off recording that I do a lot of YouTube shorts. I've had a couple of yours show up in my suggested. So actually, I've seen them.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So I remember you were telling me too, like, and this isn't a bad idea by any means, but it does take time, which was, you said, Alex, just do it once, make a medley that's like built around the short. Just try it sometime. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I just got to find the time to do it. Or either that or like re-edit a medley to really make it more visually pleasing on the shorts. Because like what I'll do in the past, if I like when I put them on TikTok as a short or on Instagram as a reel or whatever, I will just take that video and then I'll just add text above and below it to fill it out a little bit, you know? And and that does fine, but I mean, it's no secret that just it's definitely not the most visually appealing thing compared to something that's full screen and your eyes can see all kinds of things. So I still want to do that at some point just to see how it does. I bet you on YouTube it'd do great.
I still want you. I think I've mentioned this to you, and this isn't a fever dream, but if I haven't mentioned it to you, I'm mentioning it now. I still think you should go through some of your jam and chat footage, your VODs.
I know.
And some of your more popular improv songs, which you get pretty lengthy on some of those improv where you take a title and then you turn like this stupid 4-word phrase into like a 10-minute opus or
great,
whatever. They just go and you're like, okay, this is just an opera now. But anyway, I think you should take some of those titles that you've been given and you kind of have a song already. Rewrite a 1-minute version of it quickly. Improv, you're not making another album off of this, just something stupid where that's what you do. Either take a clip from the old stuff you've already done and just find like a minute-long clip and you just throw up with like no context, or like rewrite a short 1-minute version of it and just hit the short. I think that would be fun.
Well, first of all, you did tell me that before, so that was not a fever dream.
Okay.
Second of all, I'll put it this way. I thought it would be fun too. So I've done that. I have a Jam and Chat Clips channel, first of all. We'll put up a lot of shorts. And then
I forgot about that, but you do actually.
Oh, me too. Don't worry. I forgot about it too. But then I also did a couple just on my main channel and then on TikTok as well. Just like some really funny little sections. There was one about a farmer. It's still my favorite of all time. It's about a farmer who lost everything to a terrible tornado. He lost his sheep and his cows, and I'm singing like a contra farmer. And I thought it was so funny. And I leave a lot of these out of context, and it never really took off. I made like 60 or 70 of them, and after that, I was just like, I don't have it in me anymore. Which I really thought this could maybe like catch some interest, even if it's just like a what the hell was that sort of thing.
Right.
But it never really did. And then on YouTube, it was really just my Jam and Chat fans that just went over to the channel and just subscribed to it. And there was really that was about it. There was really nothing new there. But I don't know. I bet you if I put all my like eggs into that basket, I could probably do something like that, because there's a lot of content, and maybe I will sometime just for the hell of it. But right now, it's just not priority. I don't know.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Hey, if the other stuff you're doing right now is getting more eyeballs, then I would rather do that anyway. But I don't know. That just feels like, and I haven't cracked the code on this shorts thing in terms of like what does the average person watch when they're watching a short or a TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff that I think would be hilarious to post that like I've posted, or even like with this podcast, I've had a couple of our posts that I'm like, oh, this is freaking hilarious, but it just doesn't. Either the algorithm didn't show it to anybody, or the people that saw it didn't care, so therefore the algorithm didn't push. It's just funny. The things that I think's funny and hilarious, no one cares about. So I don't know.
I agree, and maybe that's why we're friends. But like because some of the shorts that we've had put out, it's the same exact thing. We've had some that had, at least by our numbers, some moderate success, but not the ones I would expect. Yeah. Like the ones that I thought were funnier, nobody cared about.
Right. I think I remember that there was one. I'd have to look it up, but and I'm not signed into the right thing. But there was one that was like, I don't remember what it was. If we had some kind of lewd joke or something, I don't remember what we were joking. Oh, it was the Grinch one where. I don't know, we made the Grinch super lewd or something. I don't remember what it was. I'm like, this.
The Grinch got pregnant. I got the Grinch pregnant. That was the joke.
That's what it was. The Grinch got pregnant. See, I think
but
it's
it was
funny
a
now. I'm
delivery.
laughing
You
at
had
it
to be
now.
there.
So anyway, I thought that would be hilarious.
Because I said it's super awkward. Because I said like we kept like pushing the joke. You know how it goes. Like you keep pushing it slowly and slowly. And then I said, "Well, this just in: the Grinch got pregnant." And then it was all implied. And then you thought, "What?" And then we just thought that was hilarious. And I do think it's funny.
And that one didn't get as much traction as the other ones. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that could be coincidence or whatever. I'm like, this was, I thought, hilarious.
Yeah, but I've seen plenty of TikToks and plenty of shorts where like there's a lewd joke made, and it does just fine. So,
right.
So I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe the people who currently at the time were into Profoundish didn't care about the Grinch getting pregnant. I don't know. I don't know how many, but.
But yeah, sometimes you don't know. It's like different audiences because a lot of the shorts or TikTok or whatever, you're not necessarily getting the people that watch your stuff. So like the Profoundish listeners are not necessarily the people that were seeing the Profoundish shorts because it goes into people's like suggested feeds, right? So it's usually different audiences. So you're like, well, okay, even if the Profoundish audience doesn't care about it, you might find someone who does. They might show up in their suggested, right?
Right.
But
I don't know. That is very true with shorts. It is kind of weird. I have such a I talked about terrible things about my TikTok followers, but my YouTube subscribers, you are beautiful people. They are devoted, dedicated folks because the ratio, I don't know the standard ratios or like what the average would be. You would know more just because you posted so many more than I have. But like I get plenty of new viewers on shorts, of course, which is a great thing. But I have a lot of return viewers watching my shorts, more than I'd say probably most, I don't know if most people, but at least more than I thought I would. And it's just about the same stuff. Like I said, it's the same content, but I'm like, thank you. I mean, that's great. Watch it. That's great. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how much crossover I have in terms of people that watch my usual stuff, which I stream and I make videos and I do shorts all on YouTube. So I don't know how much crossover there is with like one person that watches like all three or whatever. I feel like I get a lot of new folks though on the shorts because when I have comments on shorts, which you don't usually get a lot of comments on shorts, people kind of just keep scrolling. But when I do get comments, it's people I've never seen before. So it's like I feel like most of my shorts is a new audience, which is totally great. I love that.
Right, that's kind of your idea. It's almost like your free way of like advertising,
a little bit. Yeah,
that's kind of what the shorts are really. That's even what YouTube, like if you're not a content creator on YouTube, that's even kind of how YouTube markets it to us as creators. They'll like say, grow a new audience with shorts. Like they know. So
it's because that's how they push it a lot. The Zoomers, the Gen Z. They're all about their short content. So it's a new audience.
So. But luckily for me, full circle here, making content about my content kind of pays off because if those people become subscribers and they end up bleeding over and seeing my videos, they're going to like what they see. And same with you, because I mean, it's the same stuff, just, oh, cool, he's live or whatever.
It's like, oh, he's live. I'll check him out. I do need to get on that. I haven't been making any shorts here lately. I need to get back on that train. I'm behind. I was all ahead, and now I'm behind again. It's an eternal struggle, but
It's so easy to fall behind. It snowballs. I was going to say spitballs, but that's not the right word. It snowballs so quickly. It spitballs all over the place. No, it does though. It so quickly can just get behind you. You can feel. It's crazy. It can take weeks or months to really feel ahead, but then it can just take a very short amount of time to feel behind again. So and a lot of it's how you look at it too, but it's a struggle. I told this to you off mic.
Off recording, off mic, whatever it is.
Whatever you want to say. But it's really helped for me with my flow, and I thought I would just say it publicly here too, is the Gantt chart.
You've told me about that, yeah.
Has helped so much, and shout out to my better half, Steph. She made one for me. And just for me and my productivity, it just, personally, it works. Once again, you and I talked about this too. It's like, it may not work for everybody. But for me, I like to block it out by how many hours I have to do the work in a day. Then I set So I basically block out how many hours I just do everything. It's very, it's to the hour. So if that may not be your cup of tea, that may seem too, I don't know what the word is. Maybe like, I don't know,
type A or something. But like,
yeah,
you can give yourself an estimate. You know what I mean? Like you're like,
right.
I want to spend between 30 minutes and 50 minutes or whatever on this thing. We'll give yourself the hour to block out because then you have wiggle room or whatever.
Yeah, that's usually what I do too, just in case. And I found this interesting. I'm working, quote unquote, but by working I mean like just all this freelance stuff and the YouTube and all that. I'm working less hours than I was before the Gantt chart and the writing stuff down, because I also write down my task list every day now. That has helped as well too. And but anyway, I'm working about 5 less hours than what I would have said I've been working before this, and I'm getting significantly more work done.
Because it's focused.
Because it's focused, but it's focused in such a small way that I'm setting these small little bite-sized goals. Right, my goal really daily is just do this thing for an hour. It may not be complete it today. Right, I have my completion date set for whenever it needs to be set, but just do this for an hour, and so that I accomplish these 6 things. That's 6 hours for the day. It's usually what I do, like on like a Saturday. I do like 6 or 7 hours of work. And I was always doing 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of work prior to this, and I'd get, I don't know, like a third less of the stuff done. So yeah, the focus for me, once again, it's all about how you work. But for me, that's why I told you, Weston, about it, because you and I both were like, we really want to get stuff done. You don't feel good when you don't get stuff done. That cracked the code for me, and it's completely changed my life. And I'm serious. I have time to do other things, and I don't feel guilty about doing other things because I've gotten so much work done in the studio. So, and I'm, doing about 5, 6 less hours a week than I was doing, because, like you said it, because it's focused.
I feel like this is gonna sound a little screwy, but I think it makes sense. Like, so you've got, looking at what you do, you released an album, Songs from Sangamon Street. Everybody check it out, buy it. You released an album. Any one of those songs, like what's the off the top of my head, what's the longest song you have? It's like less than 5 minutes. It's like 4 minutes long or something, right?
No, it's over. No, Breadcrumbs is like 5 minutes. Breadcrumbs
is 5 minutes. But most of your songs are like 3 to 4 minutes, roughly.
Correct.
And I would argue that any one of those songs is packed with a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff you can take apart, decompress, focus on, figure out. There's a lot there. Yep. Any one of those songs. Going back to your Java chat that I was joking about before, where you've got a song about a farmer losing his cow or something, and it's like this 10-minute epic thing, but not a lot actually gets said. It's a story. Oh, it goes, right, but it's not condensed. And I'm not making fun of Jam and Chat at all, but it just makes sense as a content creator. If you improv and make it up as you go, you're going to do a lot of meandering, right? You're going to wander. So same thing like in life, right? If you focus and like densify what you're doing, you end up with a song. And if you like improv it, you're going to end up with, your Jam and Chat. You're just making it up as you go or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like, but there's also, there is like the other side of the coin too, where when you're like making it up as you go and you improv and you're not worried about correcting and fixing everything. Yeah, you can slam out a lot more like meandering songs. Like in a Jam and Chat, you have however many songs you'd invent that day. So you make a lot more stuff. But I feel like in that way, when we go back to productivity, literally the stuff that you do and your focus on productivity correlate like directly. It makes sense. Yeah. I like the analogy within my realm of stuff. Yes,
that was cool.
I tried. I stretched myself there to relate it to you.
Why is this the Jam and Chat episode or something?
This is the Jam and no. I wanted to talk about the reason I've let this topic go for so long. I wanted to talk about creating stuff and how much what we do is focused and how much is improv and made up as we went. Now, we didn't really focus a lot on the improv, but we've been talking about Jam and Chat a little bit, which is an improv show for everyone that's unfamiliar. Jam and Chat's an improv show that Alex does where you give him a title of a song and he just invents it there live. And then the chat part is you hang out and chat for a bit. So
it's
you've got this improv show. I don't do a lot of improv in the sense that I'm like bouncing off of what people give me so much as my content's very improv because I stream games and I make up my side of the content on the fly.
I was going to say you're very improv and just in a totally different way, but yeah, you just said.
Right. Not in the way that like, which some of it is when we're like in like just chatting sections where like maybe the pre-show and the post-show, like after the gaming part, if I'm just hanging out and chatting with people, or some games are very conducive of like working with what people give you. Like if I do a Jackbox stream or something, so you kind of have a lot of people giving you stuff. So it does happen, but for the most part, I'm being given stuff from a third party, not my audience, and I have to improv that. Whereas you're being given something directly from your audience in a more traditional improv way. You go up to an improv show and someone's like, hey, do this thing. And you're like, I did it. That's improv, right?
Right, sure. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but for you, like, you'll go into, like with your streams, a lot of the times you'll be going into a game blind and you're having to balance entertaining the people who watch, and also play this game for the first time. And I feel like you got to kind of think on your feet there too a lot.
Especially if you want to be like actually engaging with it and your audience. If you want to be, because if you normally play a game by yourself for the first time, you're in your own brain, you're improving your experience with the game because you're learning it for the first time or whatever. But when you make it a show, you have to explain out loud the things going on in your head as you're playing the game. But if you're making a show, you also have to be entertaining. So any odd thing that you think is funny in the game, you have to make it funnier out loud. You just go with it. Or if you see an opportunity to, pump out jokes or comments or whatever it is, like anything that crosses your brain. In improv, you have the yes and, right?
Uh-huh.
So you do that all the time in your jam and chat. Someone gives you a title, you're like, yes, I'm going with that. And then as you're making up the song, you keep you keep adding stuff to it, and you just kind of keep going. I have to do the same thing in the gaming where it's like, okay, the game gave me this thing. I'm going to add this thing. I'm going to add this thing. I'm going to make, okay, I'm playing like a visual novel. I'm playing Phoenix Wright. And the joke that I have is this one character talks like this, like with this voice, and she's got this like weird thing that the game didn't say, like she's really into my character even though the game didn't say that. Now I'm just gonna go hard on that, like I'm gonna make her like flirty even though the text doesn't say so, because that's my interpretation. So like you just keep adding the story, the meta narrative to what you're playing.
Well, that's the main thing you do, but the jam and chat's just a side thing I do, because the main thing that I do, which we already kind of talked about, is very premeditated, very planned, very produced. What were you saying? It was improv versus production, or what did you say? I can't remember how you worded it.
Like the stuff that we create, the scripted stuff.
Right. So once again, this is where, like, I guess my quote unquote scripted stuff happens. Not traditionally scripted, but I spend hours and hours and hours, kind of like meticulously picking the right order for the songs to go in a medley, and then learning them, and then recording them, and reenacting them, and then filming it, and all that stuff. It's very planned, very produced, definitely not improv. Like, for example, I don't think I could hop on a stream and just say I knew the 20 songs already. I couldn't just play them, and it wouldn't sound good. Nobody could. You have to, you got to, sit down and figure it out. And I mean, for me, that's part of the fun of it, though. I think between the two, as much as I love entertaining, in front of an audience, I do enjoy that. I do like the nitty gritty, hands-on, piecing things together. I've told you before, it's like a puzzle. I like that better, I think, between the two. Now, what do you think? Because you've switched. I mean, you are also doing Let's Plays again, but for a while, you did just Let's Plays. And I'm curious if you like one over the other. Because, you have to do a little bit of editing afterwards and everything. Is there a preference just from overall just enjoyment level?
In more recent years, I prefer the streaming because I just have a lot of fun interacting with the chat. But there are times where, especially depending on the game, certain games really, since I do gaming content. Some games are really more they're better when you can experience it without the chat getting in your way. So like whether or not you're worried about spoilers coming in, or you're worried about like, you know, like if someone does a donation on stream, or they like you can play sound effects on stream too. If someone hits me with a sound effect or whatever that like distracts you from the game. Some games are more conducive of doing it on your own, so that in the editing room I can help deliver the story that I'm trying to deliver without interruptions. So do I have a preference between one or the other? It kind of depends on the content. Streaming, just going live on a production level is so much easier. Now, you have to be on, you know, turned on for making that content much longer than you have to when you're like just making an episode. You can take a break, you can walk away, come back, you edit it all together, whatever. When you're live, you're live. You have to be on the entire time. So in terms of performance, the streaming is like quote unquote harder. But I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, I was going to say it is very apples and oranges, because I do think they both have their pros and cons. Because, you know, when you're doing something that's, you know, planned and like produced, you don't have to be on. If you want to take a break for 30 minutes, you can. You know, like when you're streaming, I mean, I guess you can, but I don't think I'd recommend taking a 30-minute break just for the hell of it. But
it's not usually a good idea if you can help it. Unless you have a massive marathon stream, then people expect you to take like lunch.
That's different.
But
speaking of that, that 30-hour stream.
I did do a 30-hour stream.
I was lurking a few times in there. I cannot believe that you did that. That was awesome.
That was it was kind of impromptu too, because I just had we had this on the podcast. We talked about I turned 30, and I was like, I turned 30. We're gonna have a 30-hour stream. I thought I was gonna have plans, and they didn't happen. So I was like, I've got availability right now. I was telling my Discord, because I hadn't been streaming in a while because I'd been busy, and I was like, what if I came back, everybody? And they're like, oh, that'd be really cool. I'm like, what if I streamed? When are you going to do it? I'm like, what if I say really soon? And they're like, okay, well, what are we streaming? I'm like, what if it's a lot of things? What do you mean by a lot of things? What if my stream's a really big one? What do you mean big one? I'm like, what if it's a really big one? And so I posted the thumbnail for the 30-hour stream going live, and they're like, what? So it was pretty funny on the Discord. And then like literally 2 hours after I told Discord about it, I went live for 30 hours. So it's pretty good.
That's wild, man.
But cool. It wasn't a 30 hours straight. So like I had a dinner that I took a break for because I literally started this on my birthday, and I had a birthday dinner that evening with my parents and my brother. And then I took a break to sleep. So like it wasn't 30 hours of me literally sitting at my chair the entire time. But neither was I've done a 24-hour stream before, and that one wasn't that way either. So it was still a long stream.
And now you've got Profoundish content to throw on there during the breaks.
I do. During the breaks, I just play Profoundish. So it's not a blank
I saw
screen.
that one of the times I tuned in. I was like, because I would happen to be free to peek at it. And then, there's some Profoundish. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, you know. I have one question to ask you before we move on to our thing. When you're making your like medleys and stuff, since that's a lot more like put together, I mentioned scripted earlier. I was just curious, do you have a note-taking process when you make that stuff?
What a great question. I've never really talked about this before. Yeah, so I do. I just use the word pad on my computer. And I have this one master document where I keep all of my potential medley ideas. And then once I have a medley kind of figured out, like I know what I'm going to do on, then what I do is I copy and paste just a bunch of different TV show titles. Because then what I have to do is go through and make sure they're actually on the right network. Because you'd be surprised how many online say they're on a network and that's actually not their home network. So I have to figure that out. Because, syndication and all that stuff. And so I do all that research, and then I dwindle it down. And then my note-taking process specifically for a medley itself, once I have the 10 or 20 songs lined up, that's how I do the arrangement and order them. So I do the arrangement in my head first. So they're in a random order. Then what I do is after each title, I add parentheses, the key that it's in. I divide each song out by key and speed, like not like 126 beats per minute, but like this one's faster, this one's slower, and I group them by speed and or key, depending on if there's like a common key with a lot of these songs. And then I slowly mishmatch them from there. So that's kind of how I do it. So that's kind of my quote-unquote note-taking process. I don't know if you meant more like actually jotting down notes.
I mean, either way, I didn't know if you jotted down notes at all anyway. Like what you're saying, like just, I need the titles, I need their syndication, I need like how fast they are. Like that's, if your note-taking is an outline of the stuff you're looking at, that's notes.
It's I just realized this though, I do take other notes, which are, so on my keyboard where I use most of my sounds that aren't like guitar or drums, I'll use the rest of my sounds on the keyboard, of course. There's a lot of sounds on there and a lot of names of the different presets. So what I do is I do take notes also in my DAW when I'm recording the song. Like if I'm like in the middle, because I won't record a medley in a day, obviously. It takes multiple days to record it. And I might forget what sound I used, but I'm not done using it yet. So there's a notepad you can use in there per track. So I write down the name of the sound. They're divided up by numbers on my keyboard. So it's like if it's like 2-7 or A17, I'll put that next to it, so then I can look at that and go, that's the sound I used. Pull up A17 on my keyboard, then continue recording the next day. So I do that as well because there's usually 25, 30 or more different instruments at one point playing in a medley. So it's good to keep track of all that stuff. So yeah, there's some notes that I do.
Yeah, because I imagined, because like when I make my stuff, I don't have really a note-taking process unless I have a note to be like, oh, remember to do this thing, which even then I rarely do. So I was curious when you're making yours, because there's a lot more moving parts in your stuff. It's like, what kind of stuff are you note-taking to be like, okay, I got to remember to do this, or I got to put that together? And the instruments, that makes a lot of sense, because you have, how many tracks on average do you have running in your Adobe? Like a zillion? Like how many tracks are you usually running in your editing software?
I mean, a ton. I mean, I would say like if we're talking Adobe, I probably got video tracks. I mean, I've got like 20.
Oh, that's already like a gazillion video tracks.
And then audio tracks, which are not in Adobe because I render out the audio, I bounce it, and then just do a stereo mix. But in my DAW, I mean, I'm usually each song is roughly, depending on the song and the length, probably 40 to 50 tracks.
Good
audio tracks.
Good God.
For the average listener, it probably doesn't sound like there's that many, but there's a lot of, we call it layering, that you do. You layer things together to make something sound fuller or wider, or there's a lot of little industry secret things that we do that make things sound better. Anyway, some of it's that, but yeah, 40 to 50 tracks, it's a lot. Though that I will say, to keep track of that, it's not notes. I have everything color-coded in my program. So different instruments are different colors and different.
And you were streaming to Twitch the other day, recording some music
randomly,
live, and I saw you doing that, color coordinating your tracks or your stuff.
That is the biggest way to keep track of all of that. I color coordinate in Adobe too. It's so much easier to see everything. So but this is years in the making though. Like, you always find new ways to kind of hone your craft and increase your efficiency with everything. And, I wasn't color coding anything even just 3 years ago. So, I mean, it's all, this comes with time. And as you learn, how can I make this more efficient and quicker, but not lose quality? Right.
Right.
And it's just little things like that make a huge difference. For the longest time, I don't know I just remember, I think I told you this before, back in the day, I put everything in Magix, man. No notes. I don't know how I did it then. I have no idea. I just did it all like in my head, never took down notes for anything and put it all in Magix. It could barely run. I had like 80 tracks in Magix. Good Lord.
Those were barbaric days.
Yeah. Man, 2015. I tell you what.
Smashing it together and hoping it'll work. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. it's time for us to move on to our next portion of the show. We're going to do a little bit of improv. In the next portion. We're going to improv some creative content live. I don't know how this is going to go. We'll find out. I hope that's piqued all your interests. You got to listen to some ads first. Profoundish is brought to you in part by HastilyMadeDecision.com. Get your poetry fix from my poetry blog featuring haiku, senryu, freeform stuff, and more. Again, that's HastilyMadeDecision.com for your poetry fix.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by The Two-Piece Podcast, a show where my significant other and I compare and contrast our top 5 lists on a variety of topics. Not only is it fun, but we also provide facts and trivia about our topics. Come laugh, learn, and listen to The Two-Piece Podcast on your preferred platform of choice.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do some improv here. We're not going to do any improv gaming content. I spoke mostly about my gaming improv in the previous section because that's what I do a lot of. But we're going to do some improv work. We're going to do some improv poetry and an improv song right here, right now, live. There's a slight twist. Alex and I are going to work together on this. I'm going to start with some poetry. We're going to do a very short, doesn't need a rhyme because it's a haiku. Alex knows I write a lot of haiku, and I do it very hastily. This is the thing that I do on my poetry blog, HastilyMadeDecision.com.
Check it out. They're really good.
Check it out. I write little senryu, but they look like haiku. So that's what we're going to call them. Alex and I are going to write one of those right now to get warmed up. And then we're going to try to create a song the same way, but we're going to try to rhyme if possible.
Okay.
The catch is we're going to alternate words.
Words. Okay.
Yes. So, just to get us started with our little haiku, we're getting warmed up here. We're going to write a little haiku. I'm going to start with a word. How about she?
Okay,
now,
first of all,
you're going to do the next word. Now, keep in mind, a haiku, for the rules I'm setting for this, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
This is a great idea. You know, this reminds me of? This reminds me of In Whose Line, which is all about improv, but where they're like the 3-headed singer, and they're those segments
I know what
where
you're
they have
talking
to
about.
sing like an opera song, but it's one word at a time. I went to the store. You know, it's a stupid stuff like that.
We're doing exactly that. I also know you're a fan of Rhett and Link. Sometimes on their spinny wheel, the wheel of mythicality, whatever it's called, they'll do like the 10-word story, but they have to alternate words.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like the Whose Line. It's like that. But we're making a poem, and we're making a song, right. And if we got some time left over, we can make another poem because they're short.
Okay, that sounds good. So you said she, right?
She. And now that means you have 4 syllables left to work with in this first line.
Okay.
You can use all of them. You can use one of them.
Okay, I'm going to go seems.
Ooh. I'm going to say...
I just didn't think you'd think I'd say seems, so I thought, that's perfect.
Seems is good. She seems polite.
So we got 2 syllables
you
left.
You have 1.
Oh,
she
polite.
Seems polite. Yeah, you have 1 syllable to finish this line.
Okay. She seems polite. I mean, the songwriter part of me wants to go, yeah. She seems polite. Yeah.
No yes.
Let's see.
I mean, I can't stop you. I gave you no rules. I can't stop you if you want to do that.
And so, really quick, and with like haikus, can you technically does that first line need to be like the finished thought?
No. Haiku, and by the way, the plural. This is for everybody. The plural of haiku is haiku.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and now you know. It's like deer or fish or whatever. The plural is the same as the singular.
Huh. Okay.
Now you know.
I do know. So could I extend that sentence into the next line?
You can. So like there's in a haiku, typically you have a turn line. So usually you want that to be the finished thought in one line, but it doesn't have to be it almost never is the first line. So you can leave it hanging and then we can continue the idea to the second line.
Okay. Cuz I like this idea cuz I think it's kind of a twist. So she seems polite, little comma, and then or
you want to do comma or comma?
Comma or.
Okay. That would make more grammatical sense, but
yes,
this is a poem, man. There are like no rules.
That's fair, yeah. But I like that. She seems polite or
okay, second line. What's the word I'm looking for? This is the part of my brain is like I know what I want to say after or, but this is the start of a second line, so it needs to go somewhere. So I'm thinking I'm trying to like not corner you because I want the second line to actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to follow this thread. So I'm going to say
this is interesting.
I also don't want to take up too many syllables, but I might here.
It's okay. Do it. This is for the sake of the art.
It's for the art. It's for the art.
That's right.
Or you know what? I'm going to say or wanting.
Wanting. Okay,
yes.
So she seems polite. I'm trying to think. Wait, or wanting.
Yeah, she seems polite or wanting.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
You can take the word wanting however you like. Wanting, like missing something. Wanting, like desiring something. Take that however you want.
Oh, so is that the end of that like quote unquote sentence?
Wanting it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
I'm not putting a period. I'm just there. You go.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. This is interesting. She seems polite or wanting. I'm trying to think how to like grammatically. Where would that go grammatically after wanting? Like I won't use what you say, but would it be like
where you want it to?
She seems polite or
here. I'll give you my screen so you can see it written out a little bit.
Might actually be kind of nice to see it.
Yeah.
That's tiny, but I can kind of see it. It's just black nothingness.
Oh, good. I tried to help, but it didn't help.
It's okay. I see it.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, this is tough.
I know. But that's okay because like this is the thing about like, you know, people can really like, I do it all the time. You can really just kind of like poop out a haiku if you really want to. But like if you're like, oh, I'm trying to get this idea to come together. Now we're trying to do it you and I together. So this is a little like, oh, I don't get to have full control.
Right, because like I had a vision, you have a vision. All right, she seems polite or wanting. I'm just gonna say, because I think you can go somewhere with this. Something. She seems polite or wanting something, and that gives you
okay. Well, we've used 4, so we got 3 syllables in this line, but I'm gonna jump it right back to you because I'm gonna say from.
Seems polite or wanting something from.
So you got 2 more syllables to work with in this line.
Oh God.
I know. See, I know where I would go with. I know where I would go from here, but now it's you. Where are we going?
This is interesting. Yeah. She seems polite or wanting something from.
Don't think. Feel.
Okay. I just felt, and I bet it's not going to be the place you want to go.
That's okay.
But inside.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so that's the end of our second line. She seems
like
polite
it.
or wanting something from inside. And that means we're on our third line. We have only 5 syllables left to finish this thought and take us someplace transcendent. Let's do... I'm trying to piece together only 5 syllables here. I'm going to start. I'm being such a turd with this. I'm going to start the third line with yet.
You read a stinker.
I'm being a real turd. Got 4 syllables left here.
She seems polite or wanting something from inside. Yet.
Yet.
Well,
she wants.
hold on.
She seems polite or wanting something from inside. Yet.
Okay, let's see what you could do with this.
Okay,
I'm gonna be a stinker.
Hit me.
Put a comma after the yet.
Comma.
He.
Ooh.
3 syllables. Or I guess you could still screw me here, depending on what you say.
You brought it around. Because this could have been this could have been really about the self. But now, at the third line, right at the end, we introduce the he. So this isn't about herself. This is about a relationship or 2 people or whatever. Which is right up my alley for the type of stuff that I tend to write on my blog. Yet he... I know how I want to end it, but this isn't up to me. Doesn't.
Unless you can.
I'm going to say doesn't, which counts as 1 syllable. Believe it or not, it's a contraction.
Really? Okay.
Which I just to confirm. No, I'm wrong. Doesn't is 2 syllables. 2 syllables.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm wrong. Doesn't.
Well, actually. Dang it! Because I had an idea now, too.
You have 1 syllable to finish the whole poem.
Well, this can still kind of work.
I know how I would do it, but I want to see it. What are you going to do it?
I'm going to say... I'm going to give you... I'm stuck between... Hold on. I'm going to say C. I was thinking
C?
no, but I like C better than no in this context.
Oh, okay. You're going to say C? Locked in?
I'm going to say C.
She
Locked
seems
in.
polite or wanting something from inside, yet he doesn't see. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like it.
That.
We did it. We made it. I really wanted the last word to be ask.
Doesn't ask.
Yeah.
I like that too.
But we'll leave it.
Yeah.
This was our thing. We wrote a haiku. Do we want to name it? You don't have to. Haiku don't have to be.
What would the name be?
I don't know. I usually try to keep them really short because the poems are short.
Right. C.
Wanting.
I mean, honestly, wanting's not bad. Well, hold on. Wanting's great. No, type it. Because my thinking with this is she seems polite or wanting something from inside, yet he doesn't see. So, I don't know whose angle this is, but he doesn't see her, and he doesn't see what she's all about, and maybe she wants him to, and it's wanting. That's kind of how that's why I put C to begin with. So,
I'll tell you what,
I'll
post this up on the hastylymadedecision.com blog the day
awesome.
the podcast comes out. It'll come out the same day. I'll link back to the podcast. It'll be great.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
All right.
We got a little less... that's our haiku, everybody. Now we got to write a song. Are you ready?
Oh, God. Well, do you have a system for this?
I have an idea. I figured the song needs 3 verses and it needs a chorus. or 3 stanzas or whatever. So that's what I figure. My question is, do we start with the chorus or does it come in second? Unless you have a better idea, you're the songwriter. Unless you have a better idea of what we should write for this. That's my idea.
Where to start doesn't really matter in songwriting, in my opinion. However, I do think having the core theme really helps with the verses. So my suggestion would be chorus first. Because I always say this with songwriting. It's the verses are you're saying something. The verses are the why, and the chorus is the because. So words. I say this because chorus. So we should know why we're saying what we're saying. And the chorus is going to always pretty much reaffirm why we're saying what we're saying in the verses. So, yes, chorus first.
Chorus first. Perfect. How many lines should we give it? Like 4?
I think 4 is fine, yeah.
4 is fine? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You're the songwriter. Does it matter how many words, syllables, feet? If you're getting really down to it, how long each line needs to be, or are we just going to feel it out?
I think I just feel it out.
Cool.
I think that's okay.
In that case, I will let you start with the first word. Since
We're doing a whole song, word by word?
But we have a lot more to work with, so let it fly. Let it fly. This is Jam and Chat. Let it fly.
I'd say, honestly, let's do this. Let's just let this fly. Let's give this, since there's more words to play with, let's give it a little less thought, I guess. I think that makes sense. All right. Here we go. I.
Never.
See, I'm starting to overthink it. Want.
2.
Love. That might be good right there. Oh, this. Okay. I'm going to say girl.
I never went to love this girl. Is that
That's
good
the line.
First line?
Yeah.
But
she
always
wants
to
love
Earl.
Oh, okay, interesting. I really thought you were going with me there. All right.
I wanted to go with Earl to rhyme with girl. Better. Make it a new line.
Oh, okay. So we're doing that. I don't know what the actual name is, but like the AABB rhyme scheme sort of thing.
We can do AAAB.
That's true. I never want to love this girl, but she always wants to love Earl. It.
Breaks.
My
heart.
I'm gonna say because this might be a longer line. Also,
I already know where this is going.
Let's see what you do.
Because we're getting pretty long in the tooth on this third line, so I think we need a.
Oh, it's okay. It's a song.
No,
we can make it.
I feel like I need a good. I feel like if we end this line with a good rhyme, because I feel like also is a hard word to rhyme with if we go AABB. So I'm gonna go with. Hang on.
Okay, that's all right.
Hang on. Hold on. Are you holding?
Processing.
What are you holding on to?
I don't want to tell you.
Desire. New line.
Oh, okay. Interesting. This is feeling like an 80s song. All right. So I never want to love this girl, but she really wants to love Earl. It always breaks my heart because I also desire. You know what this should be? Well, I can't say it. I can only say one word.
You can only say one way. I mean, you could. I don't care if you want to talk about where you think this should go. That's totally fine.
Here's where I think this should go. I think this should be 3 lines. All right. I know it kind of So like AAB, but this is like the final line, and it's like held out for longer. So it's like it also, or it breaks my heart because I also desire da, 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 right, and that's kind of like the final thing of the chorus. The word should be Earl.
It should be Earl, but we're going into a verse now because the chorus is done.
No, this is the final word of the verse. Of the chorus.
Is just Earl.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, I like it. Okay. So that's the chorus.
I never want to love this girl, but she always wants to love Earl. It breaks my heart because I also desire Earl.
I knew that's where this was going to go. Fantastic. I love this. First line, summer.
Was.
A.
Hell.
On.
Ooh. I did not expect that one. Wheels.
I thought I really left it wide open for you to say Earth, but it's okay.
I thought Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels. Oh, I feel like that's a good end to that line. Next line.
Yeah, that's good. We got to try and, since this is different than writing a poem, we got to try and kind of lead it up to the chorus. It kind of has to explain why does, he loves Earl, but this girl does too.
Which I believe is why we had Earl, and we need to bring it back to the girl, right? So Summer was a hell on wheels. She
was.
I got A. I got somewhere I want to go with this, but I have to lead you there.
Thorn.
Two.
Oh.
I know.
Thorn 2. My.
Feels.
Okay, nice. Okay, awesome.
We got there.
Summer was a hell on wheels. She was a thorn to my heels. That's actually kind of good.
I was hoping we'd get there.
Let's see here. But.
Hour.
Time. I'm just throwing words out now. We'll figure it out.
Ran.
Two. TOO.
Oh, okay. Short.
Okay, now let me process what we're saying here. So, Summer was a hell on wheels. She was a thorn to my feels, but her time ran too.
Should that be the end of the line?
I think so, but I'm trying to think how we're gonna go here, because I feel like he'd want their time to run short because he loves Earl. Unless this is telling the story.
This is telling the story. See, this is the thing. Like, I never want to love this girl, right? So he desires Earl. But I never want to love this girl. So does he love this girl?
Oh.
But he desires Earl.
well, he says, I also desire Earl.
Because
and that could have
because she always wants to love Earl.
But there could be that meaning, though. We could also use that could also just mean I also desire Earl. Like, this could really just be him struggling because he loves both. Okay, but our time ran too short. I'm just gonna say now.
Now. It.
It feels.
Feels. No, not feels.
Seems.
It seems. Earl.
Okay, there we go. Let's just end it there. No, I'm just kidding. Now it seems Earl. Now it
I gotta rhyme with short. Gotta make it happen.
Good luck. Wants.
Oh, I know what I wanted the next word to be, but I don't have control over that one.
If you need to keep it going a little bit, you can.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we can keep it going a little bit.
Songs drag a bit.
I'm going to say 2. I really want the next word to end it if you are thinking the same word I am, but it doesn't have to.
What's a word that rhymes with short? Snort,
I got a couple.
Court.
Well, think about it. Right? Like, our time was cut short. Now it seems Earl wants to. So, like, it seems like Earl is cutting the time short, right? So, what's Earl trying to do?
Huh? He's trying to court you. But is he? But we don't know really what Earl's place is, though.
I just know what word I'm thinking. We'll see what you want to do.
Well, I kind of like the idea. I'm going to say, I know it's not the word, but I'm going to say court because you can court somebody. So, yeah. Now it seems Earl wants to court. Okay. Now, what were you going to say?
Abort.
Ooh, abort. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that would have been good.
That's okay, though.
But this adds some complication to it. So let's just do, I think, just another verse. Just one more verse, I think, should be fine.
Before the chorus?
I think. No, I'm just saying we'll do one more verse
after the chorus? Okay, let's do it. That sounds perfect.
Let's see. So right now we got this story here. It was clearly a long summer, right? She was...
It was hell on wheels.
It was hell on wheels, even. She was a thorn to his feet.
I'm going to say we for the start of the next
verse
here, the ending verse here.
I'm going to say, this is just, I don't know. We're going to find out. Never.
Got.
Keep extending it. Hour, like O-U-R.
Final.
Kiss.
Kiss. Should that be the end of the line or keep going?
I think that's the end of the line.
Okay. A.
Simple.
Chance.
Is.
A simple chance is gone.
I think we're going different directions here. Okay.
It's okay. I think we are.
A simple chance is gone too.
I'm thinking kiss. I'm gonna say I kind of feel like similar size line. I want to say.
I think well, never mind.
The poet in me, this probably doesn't work as what I want to say is remiss.
Okay.
Remiss.
It can work. But yeah, that's a good way to end that line. Let's see. I'm going to say time.
Time. I'm gonna do an action verb. Let's do I'm gonna say let's do once.
I'm gonna say two, just T-O.
Loop.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Comma. Still the same line, but comma. But.
I feel like we got to bring we got to bring the girl and Earl back in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go there. Earl.
Time wants to loop. Says.
Same line or
same line? Yep, and then
same line.
We got one. I'd say one more to fill out this line.
But Earl says no.
Yeah. I love it. Because like in the, like sometimes there's like that little, like the second verse is always a little different, and like maybe like the background singers join you. It's like, but Earl says no. All right. Time wants to loop, but Earl, this is actually, I like some of these little things in here. Time wants to loop, but Earl says no. Now.
It's. As in it is. It's.
Okay. Only.
Her.
Okay. Let's see.
This is so mysterious.
It is.
I hope our listeners are waiting with bated breath.
I know. I hope so too. I''M.
Wait, what? Now it's only her. I'm.
Yeah. Now it's only her. I'm. Blah 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 blah.
No, that makes sense. I needed that said in a different way.
Right. I hear you.
Okay. Only her. I'm. Getting. I know where I want to go with this.
Okay, hold on. Now it's only her I'm getting. I don't know what you'd rhyme with no. I mean, I know rhymes with no, but I don't know what you'd say there.
I know what I want to say, but I gotta get there.
Now it's only her I'm getting. This isn't the end.
Okay.
Of the line, but it's gonna be kind of a long word. It's okay. It might have to be a long line.
That's okay.
But I'm gonna say attention. I want to see if you can find a rhyme with no sometime soon.
Okay. Attention. Pay attention to me.
Mr. Matthews. For the Boy Meets World fans out there.
It was not a show that I consumed, I'm afraid.
Good show. Mr. Matthews.
Yeah. Oh, attention.
You have
because
mine.
obviously, huh?
I said you have my attention.
Oh, okay. Well, because
I was
like
just being
obviously, like you want to say from, but if it's got to rhyme with no, right? You got to have somewhere
That's
to
kind of
go.
why I did that.
So like I'm really tempted to not say getting attention from, and I want to say like attention.
Also,
Or
keep it.
you know what I could do? I could lead us into the final chorus and just say so.
That could work.
Because then we chorus back to "I never want to love this girl," but
Right.
now it's only her. I'm getting attention, which
Yeah,
is
I mean, that could
a really awkward way to say it. But look, this was an awkward exercise.
But songs do it. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Hit it with so, end it, final chorus.
I like it. All right. So first of all, title. Is it going to be Earl?
You know,
Or is that
the
too on the
title
nose?
could be Earl.
Earl in parentheses, Hell on Wheels. I love when songs do the parentheses.
The girl Earl and I.
Me, Earl, and the girl.
Me, Earl, and the girl.
I like that better. All right. Now, do you want me to kind of improv sing it here a little bit?
If you would, that'd be amazing.
Okay. I didn't know
Me,
if you were gonna
Earl,
ask,
and the
but
girl.
I'd love to. All right. Here we go. So this is a rare occurrence. Not super rare, but it's not super common when songs start with the chorus. I like it. All right. Just tell me this, because this is using my Jam and Chat chops. Do we want fast or slow here? I need your help
This
on
was
that one.
kind of slower, not like super, but like kind of slower, right? Because it's
Okay.
weirdly kind of sad. Weirdly.
All right. Here we go. I never want to love this girl, but she always wants to love Earl. It breaks my heart because I also desire Earl. Summer was hell on wheels. She was a thorn to my feels, but our time ran too short. Now it seems Earl wants to court. I forgot how they did the chorus already. I never want to love this girl, but she always wants to love Earl. It breaks my heart because I also desire Earl. One more verse. We never got our final kiss. A simple chance, it's gone to remiss. Time wants to loop, but Earl says no. Now it's only her. I'm getting attention, so I never want to love this girl, but she always wants to love Earl. It breaks my heart because I also desire Earl.
Woo! That was amazing. That was definitely worth it.
Me, Earl, the girl.
Me, Earl,
Please.
the girl.
Please keep this because we could someday actually turn this into some fun Profoundish song.
Oh God, that is absolutely. When we have at the end of our year of Profoundish, when we release our Profoundish album, you know, with the different variations on the theme that we talked about.
This could be the bonus track.
This is this is the best track, and it's the bonus track.
I like it though.
Oh, that was amazing. I liked it too. Weirdly, like if you change some of the punctuation in here, weirdly, I think we've got something rather profound here.
Profoundish.
Profoundish, even. You've been listening to Profoundish, everybody. Thank you so much. You can follow us on our socials at Profoundish Pod on the Twitter and the Instagram and the TikTok. Check us out wherever you're listening is fantastic. We're available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Give us a 5-star, a like, a subscription, a follow, whatever it is you can do. Do those things. Alex, where can we find you?
You can find me at alexduquette.net. if you like this song, well, I write songs just like it. So I'm just kidding. But I do write songs, though.
Kinda.
It's true. I mean, actually, yeah, you're right, kind of. Check it out, alexduquette.net. You can hear my original music as well as my other, I do theme song medleys. I do all kinds of fun stuff. You can check it all out right there. What about you?
You can find my landing page at westonhasty.com, where you can find all my stuff. Namely, I've got a gaming YouTube channel called Magic Man Mo. I write poetry, hastilymadedecision.com. Say hi to me on Twitter at Weston Hasty. Once again,
Hi.
You all... What?
I said hi to you on Twitter. I said hi.
Hello. Sometimes you break up on Messenger, and I'm just not sure I hear you right, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Thank you all so much for listening to Profoundish. And until next time,
Bye, Earl.
find your Earl. Find your Earl.